Now Deadpool and Wolverine, while they are usually not friends or buddies, most times they can stand each other and not just immediately come to a brawl, but sometimes in some situations, they can't. And so what exactly would happen when they come to butt heads and clash weapons? Well, here are some of the times that they actually do fight in the comics, and who seems to win more often than not might even surprise you. So as always, this is AJ at the Hero Informer, and let's get into it. So immediately something to note is the main differences between Wolverine and Deadpool. Now, while they may have a similar level of skill and combat prowess, they are two very different types of fighters. Wolverine being more of a brawler and animalistic type of get in your face and cleave you up. Deadpool, at least when he actually tries and is a little bit more serious, has arguably better versatility in his fighting style, ranging from different types of weapons, guns, swords, and other things, to even hand-to-hand combat in most cases. But of course, speaking of weapons, Wolverine pulls ahead with his almost unbreakable adamantium skeleton and famous claws that can cut through, well, almost anything. But down to the real meat and potatoes of what makes these heroes nigh unstoppable are their healing factors. And yeah, they can heal from almost any type of wound, but it is something to note that canonically, I believe Deadpool has a stronger healing factor. Now, obviously that doesn't mean too much in a fight, as they both have very excellent healing factors and are very hard to kill, but if push came to shove, Deadpool's healing factor is faster and more potent, even if by very little. So firstly, it is only right that we start with the first fight and battle that they have ever had, coming in Wolverine issue 88 from 1988. So initially what we see here is Deadpool trying to get back to his ex, Vanessa, but she has moved on with the new Weapon X. But of course, there are some obstacles in Deadpool's way, including one short sack Wolverine. But there are a few things to note about Wolverine during this time period. One is that this is during the time that Magneto ripped out Wolverine's adamantium skeleton, sending his healing factor into overdrive and making it unstable. But of course, with all of that being restored and fixed, his healing factor is fixed and back in, but not back at full capacity yet. Meaning, yeah, he can heal and won't die, but he can't fight the same way he used to. And that isn't particularly good when going against someone like Deadpool. And immediately off the bat, these two really don't like each other, with Wolverine going on to tell Deadpool that he wouldn't even stomp on his face even if he was on fire. As the battle begins and Deadpool starts shooting at Wolverine. But of course, Wolverine being the close quarter combat master that he is, he's able to get in close and slash Deadpool. But as you will see in most cases, Deadpool is pretty agile and nimble. No, maybe not Spider-Man type of agile, but agile enough to outmaneuver Wolverine, as he flips in and about getting a few good hits in. And of course, with Deadpool being the merc with a mouth, he is able to taunt and essentially trash talk Logan and baiting him into an attack, as Logan lunges for Wade, trying to kick him in the face, but Deadpool is able to dodge it and stab Wolverine through the back with both of his katanas. And like I said, normally this wouldn't be too much of an issue, maybe a little bit of pain, but his healing factor isn't at full capacity or 100%, meaning with this, the battle actually ends, with Wolverine bleeding on the floor from this type of attack. And no, while he's not dead, he is definitely incapacitated and can't immediately fight at this moment, meaning in their first encounter, Deadpool is actually the victor in their battle. Now, will this be for all of the times? Definitely not, but this first time, it seems like he is. With we even see Wolverine as he starts to heal say, if he had taken that same type of cut a month ago, he would have been worm food. But of course, his good old mutant healing factor is working, just not as fast as he would like it, as he starts to crawl and get up, healing from the attack, but losing the battle all the same. Moving over, we then pick up with Cable and Deadpool issue number 43, where we see Logan and Deadpool cross paths, because Deadpool is on a mission to save his friend from a Hydra base, and coincidentally, Wolverine is also there trying to take out that same base's commander. And with Wolverine and Deadpool being somewhat of rivals, as soon as they meet each other, it's on sight. But of course, with Deadpool seeing an unnecessary fight brewing, he tries to calm Logan down, saying, hey, why don't we just get out of here? But it seems Deadpool got too close as Wolverine literally turns, slicing his head off with one clean swipe, as Deadpool's head rolls on the ground. Now, of course, as you know, these two people have incredible healing factors, but like with most things in comics, it is insanely inconsistent. Because as Wolverine, standing over the body of Deadpool, goes on to say, with Deadpool's healing factor, he has about 12 minutes until oxygen deprivation sets in, rotting his brain to the point that Wolverine thinks he won't even survive it. Which is why I say it's kind of inconsistent, as in other times we see Deadpool be beheaded and is fine, with him even talking and being conscious. But this time, it doesn't seem so. And so with Wolverine lunging to finish off the rest of the Hydra goons, Deadpool's friend that he was there to save goes to reattach his head to his body, just in time before the oxygen deprivation sets in, letting him jump back into the fight to take on Wolverine, for them to have a proper one-on-one. And as they begin to fight and trade blows, we see it is kind of even, with each of them getting their own hits in. Deadpool stabbing Wolverine through the shoulder, and Wolverine stabbing Deadpool in the stomach with his claws. But as the fight continues to go on, we see eventually Logan is able to get the upper hand. As out of the two, I do think Logan is the more skilled one, at least in terms of hand-to-hand combat, especially considering what his main weapon of choice is, his claws, versus Deadpool, who more specializes in swords, guns, and other weaponry. But as Wolverine is able to unarm Deadpool, he stabs him through the chest, pinning him to the wall, effectively winning this fight. As because while Deadpool is unarmed, you can't really unarm Wolverine effectively, as his very weapons are attached to a skeleton in his body. And while technically Deadpool isn't unconscious or KO'd, meaning he could still fight before anything could progress any further, their fight is interrupted, which is the case for a lot of their battles. There's no clear decisive winner, or if there is, it's very much of a case of one hero barely getting the upper hand. But of course, Logan does seem to be the victor in this particular battle. Now okay, oh boy, this is where things get really interesting. We move over to a little comic called Wolverine Origins, specifically starting in issue 21, where we see Wolverine and Deadpool go at it. And not just go at it, they have a prolonged fight, with Deadpool being hired to kill Wolverine, but of course it is very hard to kill someone who can heal from almost anything. But of course, nonetheless, we see Deadpool try. As you move over and see them face to face, with Deadpool immediately trying to attack Logan, but with Logan not really wanting anything to do with him, he gives Deadpool a little warning slice to the face, and then starts to walk off. But Deadpool being Deadpool, he doesn't take no for an answer. And this Deadpool came with a lot more gadgets, as immediately after trying to shoot Logan, he again rushes into close quarter combat, where Logan has the upper hand, knocking weight to the ground, which seems to be a common outcome is whenever Deadpool tries to engage in hand-to-hand combat with Logan, he gets floored. So like I said before, he brought more gadgets, as he jumps away throwing explosive shurikens at Logan, blowing him up and into a nearby store. And with Deadpool following after him, they take their battle all the way to an elevator, where again Wolverine seems comfortably with the upper hand, beating Deadpool with his back against the wall. But Deadpool isn't out of tricks yet, as he unpins a bunch of grenades, letting them to explode, as Wolverine narrowly makes it out. But in the process of the explosion, Deadpool's suit gets ripped and tattered, so he ditches it in favor of more street and civilian clothes. But a simple disguise, or lack of costume, isn't going to deter Logan, as he is one of the best hunters after all, so he still manages to chase after Deadpool, leading him on some kind of wild goose chase around the city. And eventually, and obviously, Logan is able to catch up with Wade and pins him to the ground. And this time it goes even worse for Deadpool, as right now without a suit and weaponry, he is pretty much defenseless, as Logan has showed time and time again that he is his superior when it comes to hand-to-hand fighting skills. But it seems he does have one last get out of danger trick, as he brings the remote from his pocket, pressing it, activating some kind of little drone, dragging Logan away, allowing Deadpool to escape to a nearby armory to re-gear up and suit up. Oh yeah, and a device that sent Logan away, well, it sent him into nearby traffic, causing him to not only be ran over, but a pile-up to happen, probably killing multiple civilians. Not that Deadpool cares anyway. But after specifically 19 minutes, we see Logan re-emerge, his wounds healed up from it, and Deadpool back in fresh gear, ready to continue their battle. And Wolverine is absolutely angry. He has been basically being a damage soak or a punching bag this entire battle, and with now Wade being back in full gear, he decides to finally end this, snapping his sword in one clean swipe, kicking him before he is able to grab his gun. As right now Logan is in his famous or infamous berserker rage, absolutely seeing red and gunning to try to kill Deadpool as best he can. As we move over and see them engage in a brutal and bloody battle, as Logan lunges for Deadpool, stabbing him, as Deadpool is able to load a couple gunshots into Logan. But as they are up close and personal, Logan is able to drive his claws both into Deadpool's side, as Deadpool even goes on to say during the comic, "My lungs are full of blood, and I'm pretty sure my aorta has been severed. I will be dead in seconds." But before he is able to fall to his wounds, he is able to get one last maneuver off, as he pulls a gun to Logan's chin, blowing it straight into his head, as blood pours from every orifice, his mouth, ears, and nose, as they seemingly fall unconscious in each other's arms. And of course, any normal street level hero, or hero of that power tier, without a healing factor, this would most certainly be death. But for the crazy, powerful, fast healing mutants and powerhouses that they are, this is nothing but just a setback. But something really interesting that we do see here is that technically Deadpool did win this. As you see, they both were mortally wounded, but their battle simply became a race between their healing factors. A race that Deadpool, having the faster and more potent healing factor, even if just slightly, won, as he was able to heal up, awaken first, and even drag Logan off and bind him. Just showing that in conclusion, it really comes down to the healing factors between these two people. While Logan can pretty comfortably dominate Wade in terms of fighting skill, prowess, and hand-to-hand combat, Wade, if he's strategic enough, can outlast Wolverine with his superior healing factor. Not to mention Deadpool more commonly has and is not afraid to use different type of weaponry. But yeah, as we have seen multiple instances of these two characters come head to head, sometimes winning, sometimes losing, all in all, it is pretty easy to say that they're evenly matched in more ways than one. But that is the end of this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like or even subscribe if you're new to the channel and enjoy this type of content. This was the Hero Informer, and thank you for watching.